All right, hey YouTube, get ready for a very discombobulated update on like 3 or 4 different things here. It's just been crazy because my computer has been acting up, and I'll give you that story in a second. Anyway, like I did a few weeks ago, I shot this on my phone. I'm shooting this on my phone right now, and I guess theoretically I have a way to edit it, but not very reliably. And so I'm not going to edit this. I'm just gonna, let come what comes and hit the pause button between shots here, and that's what you're gonna get. So hopefully this works out. So anywho, you saw this thing here probably a few videos back, and I finally decided to take it home and start messing with it. I got a chisel out, and I've started chiseling out inside here, getting all this rough stuff off. Let's see if I can see. Right in here is still some of the really rough stuff inside of here, and it is fairly rotten. In fact, I have a bunch of video clips on this, but like I said, my computer just kind of got on the fritz here. So I'll probably just go on from wherever we're at here. Anyway, yeah, chiseling it out and taking the old sander on the angle grinder there, flapper wheel, and kind of flapping it out a little bit on the inside and the outside, and getting rid of bark and that sort of thing. So I think it'll come out to something. A couple of the questions that I had on it was, around the bottom, I've got some really rotten areas here, and so I'm looking for ideas on what would be a good kind of resin to put down in there and sort of stabilize those areas, and that would soak in. I assume something very thin that would soak in there would work great, but I don't want to necessarily pay an arm and a leg for this thing. I mean, it may have value to somebody, but it may not be that valuable. And also, I got a big crack here, so I'm kind of debating on what in the world to do with that crack, how to stabilize that. I've thought about filling it with resin completely, whatever. It's not really in a position where you might do a bow tie. It just, I don't know, it's kind of a little bit of a different deal. This whole thing is different. I haven't seen anything like it, really. It's just kind of an oddity, which is why I'm kind of attracted to it. And it may be a perfect piece of garbage, or it may be something that somebody really wants. But just to let you know, I am working on this crazy thing, for whatever that's worth, as evidenced by all this crap on the floor here. So onto the sawmill. The sawmill's out in the cold part of my shed, and as you might imagine, the last couple of weeks here in Minnesota have just been freezing cold, and now today it's warm. In fact, in here there's, okay, I thought that was moisture, but it's not. It's like 25 to 29 degrees out. It feels like a virtual heat wave, probably, close to 50 degrees hotter than it was a few days ago. Anywho, I've got pieces on order from Cook's Saw, namely the blade guides, so I can finish building the blade guide system, and that's kind of the main thing I need to do here before getting blade and pulleys and stuff on. But it's getting closer, and kind of keep messing with it here little by little. It will get there. Well, and speaking of sawmilling, I watched on Ben's Sawmill channel, and he had a live feed on there. I thank him so much. Thank you, Ben, for plugging the channel here. That was great, and I appreciate it. And thank you for several of you that came over and subscribed. Hopefully we'll be seeing more sawmilling here as well, especially come spring here. I think one of the things that we've talked about a little bit, I think Ben talked a little bit about on his channel, was whether or not you sell any wood. I've actually been selling a little bit of wood. I don't have a ton, but let's see, yesterday I sold about $300 worth. So, that's not a lot. That's not going to pay bills, but $300 is $300. So, it all helps. And neighbor was happy to get it, and I give it to him for a pretty good price. So this shot, of course, is for my YouTube friend there, Tractorman44. There you go. 33 is sitting out here. Today I probably could get it started and pull it in the shed there. I don't like to keep it sitting out. I like to keep it shedded. But when it was those real cold days, I pulled it out one day and then it got cold, and I didn't really like to go anywhere. All right, so this is the other thing that we have going on here. That I think this was my last video, was this hobby hut deal. And we got 2 more stacks of pine boards here that need to be stained, and then we'll be able to start putting up these boards on this wall here and also on this wall over here. And of course, in the last video I showed how I was stacking these up, which actually worked out pretty good for an ordinary guy. So we're getting on this. Hopefully get a video on this soon. Just one more thing to add to my discombobulated video here. Okay, so the last thing I got to tell you about is my computer situation, and I'm hoping this is going to be resolved very soon, because I've been sick of it. Really, I truly have been sick of it. The computer that I have was something that my dear mother-in-law had, and so she moved away out of the country, and I ended up inheriting this thing, and it's been pretty good. It's actually worked very well. I redid it, and it's been great. No complaints. Until maybe 2 months ago, Microsoft came out with an update, and my video card completely crapped out. My dual screen was messed up. You get back to the 640 by 480 resolution. Well, you can't do much on that. And so that was dead in the water, and I tried redoing it, and it was just completely hosed up. Anyway, come this week, actually yesterday, I was doing some stuff on it, as it was, and then it restarted on its own, and it got the blue screen of death, and that was all she wrote. So as of yesterday evening, it has this blue screen of death on it, and I, talked it over with my wife, and we kind of decided that you might get permission to buy a new one. So during the day, actually this morning, I got up and I hit the on button on the computer, and lo and behold, it looks like, you know what, it's going to start up. And I didn't really think anything of it. Well, it's going to start up, but it's going to be, just in the same crappy state that it was in before. I didn't look at it. I just thought, I can see the Windows logo come on. And so we left, and we went and, did our thing, because we're church-going people. And we did our thing. It's Sunday morning, and then we went and had something to eat and whatnot. And in the meantime, I get on my phone, and I order up a new laptop. So hopefully a laptop is going to work very good for video editing, right? So I order that up, and once I get home, and when I get home, I look on the computer, and everything on my computer has magically fixed itself. So it was completely crapped out last night, and tonight, everything that's been going on for a month seems to be fixed, and I've got a new one on order. So timing is everything. Timing is everything. Wow, if I hadn't ordered that computer, while I did, I would still be having to look at my old computer, and now I'm getting a new one, and I'm planning on ordering some video editing software to go with it, something a little bit better than what I've had. So hopefully more and better videos will be coming out of this, more videos other than me sitting here on my phone doing this all in one shot, in one take.